What are some of the biggest achievements and challenges you faced in organizing Lahore Music Meet?
This I really want to know.
Yeah, I mean, Lahore Music Meet was one of the best things that's ever happened to my life and my career, really.
And in Lahore also.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I hope so. Because जो अभी हमने जो बात की है ना, all of this anger and rage and talk about space, the solution was LMM. The solution was to create a festival that had the same feeling as Basant and like melas, where you could go with your family, your friends, whatever. And sab, तमीज़ से रौनक में बसे हुए हैं. That was the dream. And we were 23 when we started it, and so that's like I remember I was in my like last semester at college at that point, and I was not going to classes, but I was doing the festival. And tukke se humne kiya tha because I had a certain sense of like organizing and managing from like college and all of the random ikka dukka gigs that I had organized. But I think what we as a team really had was a couple of like very important principles and ethics. And the problem at that point was that corporate monopoly over music had really kind of caused the scene to be dead. And not just corporate monopoly, but the political situation, everything from 2007 onwards, had just caused music channels to close down, venues to close down, music shops to close down. And so in 2015, and 2010 में तो YouTube भी ban हो चुका था. So basically any glimmer of hope we could have anywhere gone. And so in 2015 we were like, acha, if we want a future in the music industry and we're not connected and we can't be nepo babies, then what do we do, right? And so we started LMM, and it was सबने सिर्फ हमारी नीयत देख के वो पहुंचे थे, बेशक वो आर्टिस्ट हों या स्पीकर्स हों या टीम हो, because we had no money, no sponsor really wanted to give us money. Like I think the question was like, what is the challenges? Is that at 23, I'm a political science major, not a marketing major, not a business major.
Nice.
I have to go talk to sponsors in 2015. वो ज़माना सोचो क्या था? And be like, मैंने concert करना है, festival कराना है. And they're like, इतने पैसे में तो हम fashion show करा लेंगे. And I'm just like, tears in the car. I was like, who cares about fashion? Like it's all about music and just like all of those things.
Very passionate.
Very passionate, but also unable to fathom why somebody doesn't want to support their culture, right? Then the year after that, there was a bomb blast a couple of days before the event, and the year after that was the same thing. So not associated, but within the city of Lahore.
Yeah.
And so at 24, 25, you have to take the decision to keep a festival going in high alert Lahore and go sit with, government officials and try to explain to them why this is a good idea. Those are really hard decisions to take. And like I look back at myself now and I'm just like, good for you, sis. Like you did well. But like us as a team, we were really going through it during that era and it was really hard. I think the greatest achievement was the last LMM because 5 years on, 2020 Feb, was so magical because people, the first year we really had to beg people to listen to music. We're like, yeah, indie artists, they're like, what is indie? Ye kaun sa hai? Ye kya hai? Classical musicians, kyun nahi bula rahe aap? So we had all the uncles and aunties complaining, and it was just like, okay. So by the end of it, people were dying to get there, and we didn't advertise really large or anything, just word of mouth.
It really did pick up.
It really truly picked up, and it's such beautiful moments happening कि आपके साइड पे कॉन्सर्ट हो रहा है, अंदर सेशन हो रहा है, वहाँ एक साइलेंट प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है regarding something political but full तमीज़ से, and then उसके बिल्कुल साथ ख्वाजा सिराज with their little ढोलकी party happening and running their own little festival on the side. So just the fact that so many people can come there and be comfortable to be themselves. हमें कौन सा ये चांस मिलता है पाकिस्तान में? बहुत ही कम मिलता है, especially young people. Like there's no winning for us. जो भी अच्छी चीज़ होती है वो तब बहुत महंगी होती है या accessible नहीं होती.
That's so true.
So this has to so that's where this space needs to be for the musicians to earn the respect they deserve, and for the audience to learn to be an audience. Because literally this was the major learning we had by year 2, is we have to teach this audience to audience. ये नहीं है कि आप किसी वलायत में बैठे हुए हैं जहाँ they know where they have to be there on time or do this on time. But I will say this, I think the biggest achievement of LMM overall is the amount of people that have come in to that community, like the team, the organizing team, the founders, the volunteers, the photographer, videographer, all of these things, because I didn't know all of this stuff. And so like I had to really rely on everyone else's expertise to really help pick that up and create this space. And so many of the volunteers ended up being musicians. Like Manu is my favorite example. He was a volunteer doing artist management, and now look at him.
That's
so
so
like
cool.
it's there's some really magical moments. Abdullah Siddiqui sending us his demo at the age of 16, and like showing up and just blowing everyone's mind. 2016 mein ye hua tha. So like all these lots of tidbits, but I could get into it and keep going. But the point is that like I'm really glad I took that decision at 23 to go through with this, because I know I don't have the himmat to start it now. But I'm really glad I didn't know what I was getting into, and that it all just ended up being this really wonderful learning process. And in such a khoobsurat way, I can see the fruits of that labor in the industry.